Now we end tonight's programme with Brad Kella, who says playing piano with Gary Barlow was possibly the best night of his life. The 23-year-old is supporting the Take That star on his solo tour after winning the TV show The Piano.
Yes, Brad grew up in care in Liverpool from the age of 7 before teaching himself how to play the piano. And now he's supporting Gary on tour around the UK, starting in the Isle of Man, where he caught up with our reporter, Joshua Stokes.
From this moment on, Brad Kella was destined for greatness. The boy from Bootle shot to stardom on last year's series of The Piano. And now the 23-year-old is supporting Gary Barlow on tour, starting right here on the Isle of Man.
It's one of the most gorgeous places I've ever been to. I've took a good amount of walks already around the island, and it surprised me so much how much history and stuff's going on over here, and I feel really privileged to be over here.
And it's your first time on the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
Is it what you expected?
To be honest, I didn't really know what to expect. I've never really known too much about it. The only thing I've heard about the Isle of Man is the motorbikes. But it's always going to have a place in my heart now because it was the first place I ever performed with Gary Barlow. Last night was possibly one of the best nights of my life. Being able to play A Million Love Songs Later with Gary Barlow live on stage for the first time was a moment I will never ever forget. I just feel so blessed. It doesn't actually seem real at the moment.
Since breaking into the industry, Brad has performed in some of the biggest venues. But it was in his early life where he honed his talent, growing up in care in Liverpool.
I want to be a big, massive role model for kids in foster care. Every 20 minutes, a child goes into foster care in our country, and there's 7,000 homes needed to guide these children into a better future. If I did not go in foster care, I would have either been selling drugs or would have been in jail, or even worse, I would have been in such a dark place. I was so blessed to get amazing foster carers that give me the opportunity to believe in everything. And I always say, if it weren't for the care system, I would not be the man I am today.
Brad is now preparing to release his debut album, Phoebe's Melody, telling the story of his upbringing and his passion for the piano, all despite never learning to read music or taking any lessons.
I locked myself away and played for hours and hours and hours until eventually I got a bit of a better piano. And then that's when I feel like my life really started at that moment. Before then, a lot of bad things had happened to me, and I went through things I probably shouldn't have went through, but I forget about every bit of that as soon as I touch them keys. The one thing I'd love for the audience to take away from me playing the piano and performing on this tour is that absolutely anything is possible. I grew up on a council estate in the middle of Liverpool. At one point I was homeless. I was in care from the age of 7, but the important thing is that I believed in myself. I manifested a lot of things, and I worked so hard to get where I am today, and if I can do it, anyone else can, and I genuinely mean that.
What a story, Brad, and what a talent. Now for the weather, here's Joe.